guys, welcome to the spot. I'm Tiffany,
I'm Ron.
and we have a special guest today, Ron H, better known as Ron Squared. He is out today, so Ron is gonna hold it down for us. And we're here to recap BMF episode 9, Point of No Return. Delayed but not denied. I know we're a little late, but I know if you guys have been following our IG page and our YouTube channel and everything. I'm just coming back from the Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival, so we got a lot of content from that to come. But anyway, I want to get right into our discussion. But please like and subscribe. We'll get that out the way first and foremost. But anyway, the episode opens up with a shootout in Mexico with the federales. I was like, they got it popping, didn't
Yeah, I was telling Ron squared before we got on. I said, just one of these days, I just wish they give us the completion of those flashbacks because I mean they get out of some hellacious firefights, man. I mean, when it all seems lost, uh, they somehow manage to, pull it out. But it's all good. It's all good.
they? Mm-hmm. Because
Yeah,
you
I don't
see,
know. It's like
I'm
big
sorry.
budget. It's like big budget action hero stuff. I don't know how they
Right.
get involved in this stuff.
Yeah, it was yeah. Meech was holding it down. Even T, they were busting back at the federales and stuff. So it's like two things happening simultaneously. We're over there in Mexico, Meech and them were holding it down, fighting with the federales. Back home, Bryant and the cops have discovered Laz's body, and he's been shot in the mouth. Snitches get stitches. They
That's what they
say-
say.
That's what they say. Snitches get stitches.
They do say that. Yeah.
And yeah, so of course they automatically think BMF is behind it. Of course, Bryant says,
No problem.
this is not Meech's MO. Like he knows better, but they said at least it looks like somebody is setting it up to be
To make
to
it look
make it
so.
look like
Right.
it's
And,
BMF.
and you know me, I've been a proponent of sorts with Bryant because, as I've said many a day, he's doing his job and he does it, I think, rather effectively with a few flaws, but he's a bulldog when it comes to police work. And I was, actually, I was glad to hear that he at least understood or knew that, BMF has a motive. I mean, a certain way of doing things. So
Hmm.
he knew that they don't leave bodies hanging around. So let's not go there. Let's go find who actually did this. It's good police work as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with that. Like, he has a certain way of doing things, and I think he lends a lot more. If it wasn't for him, I don't know if them those wild police down there would have
The
even
Red
gotten
Dogs.
close to Meech
Exactly.
and Terry and what they got going on. But Brian is a little he's a
Unhinged.
little
Come on
wild
and
in his
say
own
it.
way.
Come on
Yeah.
and say it. Come on and say it.
He's a
That
little wild in his own way and reckless with his thoughts.
Yeah.
So
That's
sometimes he
what
does.
that's the point that me and Tierra was saying to Ron. We never said that he wasn't a good cop or he
Yeah.
wasn't good at what he does. Our point was he did the most. We think that he is obsessive
Hmm.
because a lot of this, yeah, he's a good cop and he wants to get the bad guys, but he's obsessed with taking down Meech. He's obsessed because he thinks that they are responsible for what happened to his son and everything. So he has a vendetta, and that's the part that me and Tierra don't agree with. It's not that he's you
No,
know
I never said he was perfect. I'm just simply saying that his mode of doing things is relative to what most cops that really, for instance, he's trying to take down the biggest drug mogul there is in his mind, and that being BMF. He's trying to, he's that's in his DNA. He wants to get Meech by any means necessary. Unfortunately, he does take routes that may be a little unhinged, that may be a little um, not necessarily official police work, but then again, we know cops on the streets do the same thing. They plant guns in people's cars to get a conviction. Cops do it all the time. So when I look at what he's doing and what we know cops can do, what's the difference? He's except that at least he's trying to get Meech, BMF. He's trying to get them. He's trying to take them down. So with
Mm.
that, I say he's doing a professional. He's
But
doing.
he didn't care what they were doing when in season one. He was on a take.
Oh,
He was
sure it
taking.
was.
He was a dirty cop.
Yes,
So I
and
was
he
just
still.
like,
And
he
look,
wasn't all for justice and
as I
order at
no,
first.
but as I said, he ain't perfect. So
Mm-mm.
and once a dirty cop, as far as I'm concerned, is always a dirty cop. But I'm talking about his methodology in trying to get Meech. And I'm only talking about that. Now, as far as I'm concerned, he'll never look, he's a dirty cop no matter what he does. You can put another badge on him. You can
That part.
to another city.
That part.
He's always going to be a dirty cop. Because given another circumstance to be a dirty cop, you probably take it.
True.
But when it comes to what he's doing with Meech, I just see he's better than most.
And those in that line of thinking, I would say I agree with that. I think if
Yeah.
there's anybody who get close to catching these guys in some way, form, or fashion, he would probably have the best chance.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
I don't agree with all his methods, and I think
No,
he is wild.
And I
But
agree with that too.
it reminds me of New Jack City. Sometimes you need a New
exactly.
Jack cop to catch a New Jack drug dealer.
Exactly.
Like,
Well, who better? Because think about it. He was Meech's coach at one time too,
Yeah.
and stuff. So he does know them.
In fact,
He knows them. He has the police work on his side. He's a good cop as far as his expertise.
mhm. In fact,
So
in DC,
if
in the 80s, they did something like that. They were hiring thugs to catch thugs because, in the sense, who better knows than they do? So, yeah, it happens all the time. So I'll give him his his flowers for that. But
mhm.
outside of that, yeah, you're right. He's dirty. He should be in jail too. But
Yeah, he should.
yeah,
He should. He should. He should. Because he's definitely used dirty tactics.
mhm.
But, just as Bryant is discovering Laz, we saw that Meech and crew were looking for Laz too. And T was already raising suspicions about Laz. He was all T's spidey senses were tingling, and he was like, and then when Tina comes in and breaks the news that Laz has been found shot in the mouth, T was on it. T was like, see, you know, he was a snitch. He was a snitch. And then now somebody has shot him in the mouth and trying to make it seem that we did it to put us up to it.
Mhm.
And Loco is there and he's observing the whole thing. And you know, there was plans. Loco wanted Meech and them to go to LA to meet Manuel,
Mhm.
his connect. And T thinks that they should stay back because he's like, it's too hot right now. We need to take care of business at home. And Mish was like, nah, I think we need to move forward. But Loco was like, I'm not going because I still got trouble with the cartel. And we're gonna talk more about that later with Loco, poor Loco. But yeah, so I mean, what do you guys think about that? Like, what side do you come down on? I mean, with
Again,
Meech plugging ahead, or
I
what
come
you?
down on T with T, and here's the reason. And I think Ron, we were talking about it a little earlier when I asked, with the BMF demise, who do you blame more? Do you blame T or do you blame Meech? Now, I think they both have responsibility in it in terms of
Yep,
bringing it down.
yep.
They both made some bad mistakes, but
Mhm.
at least what I like about T versus Meech, T doesn't necessarily take you at your word, or if you build a relationship with Terry, it's because you built a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Meech, he starts to love everybody and give everybody a chance. Yeah, you my boy, you my brother. But then at the same token, for this, at least this episode, all these people that you've fallen in love with have stabbed you in some way. I mean, get you into a point of no return.
Hmm.
T was right. My boy was a snitch.
Yeah, he was. He was.
There is no way, no ins, ands, or but about it. He was a snitch and had to be dealt with.
Well, it wasn't because of them. I mean, it's the reason why he was dealt with was because B-Mickie did it
I
so
did.
that he can make it look like it was Meech and them.
But what I'm saying is, had me and Terry been on the same card, maybe they would have taken him out. But fortunately for them, somebody else did it.
But that's not
Mickey
true.
did it for him. It was one of those consequential circumstances, if there is such a phrase. You know, it was a circumstance that by B-Mickie did it to make everybody believe it was BMF. But
Hmm.
see, but B-Mickie don't know that the hound dog is on the tracks, or at least he doesn't know how desperate and how much.
Well, he knows now
Yeah,
because
but before he didn't know how much Detective
mm-mm.
Grant knew about Meech and Terry, and he could sniff out whether this is something they would do or not. So that was B-Mickey's first mistake.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, he made plenty of mistakes, and we gonna see. It seems like things are building. We gonna talk about B-Mickie
Hmm.
because that situation with him. You see, like after that, he went to Misha's house,
Hmm.
and it looked like he was going to do dirt because he had his piece on him and stuff. And I appreciate how Charles like read the room, and I was like, "Go ahead, pops." I was like, he might be getting my game ball again this week
Hey,
because even after Charles and Lucille like stood in like he was his best man for when B-Mickie got married, and Lucille gave him money from the benevolent fund from the church, and they were really supportive of B-Mickie. When he questioned B-Mickie, he was like, "You coming over here like what? In Atlanta? What you have a piece for?" And then he was like, "Nah, and then you in the streets. I can tell you ain't bring your family. So yeah." He totally read the room, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave." I was like, "Okay, Pop, stand on business."
game
Yeah.
ball. End of
Yeah.
story.
I mean, I don't really understand it. Like, I can understand Charles saying, you know what? You are back in the life. We did so much for you, and you're going down the wrong road. And I want something better for you. And I thought you understood that. And I thought you felt that way because of everything you've had to do and
Mm-hmm.
gone through with your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, it seems like he understood a little bit more than he should. Like, I could understand him saying, you know what, I don't understand what's going on with you. I don't know why you're doing this. But I'll tell them you came by or whatever. Like, just like hey, they're not here now or whatever. But it seemed like it gave you the idea like he didn't want him in the house. Like,
Well,
how
but
did
see,
Charles know that?
because Meech hasn't pieced up with B-Mickie.
No,
T
no. I
brought
mean, I
remember
didn't know if
like
Charles knew that.
remember no, that's what I said. T brought B-Mickie on
Right,
and gave B-Mickie those things. He been running with T. He hadn't been running with B-Mickie with Meech,
right,
and
right,
that's why Meech was surprised when Charles called when he said labor. We'll talk about each of the characters like separately, and I'll go into the situation with Nikki going into labor separately. But staying on the B-Mickie situation, um, Charles, when he told Meech over the phone that Nikki had gone into labor, and he said that B-Mickie was there, that's when Meech got his sense. He was like, "What? Like, what is he doing here?" And then that's when T had to tell him, "Yeah, I had him working with all this time." Meech did not know. Meech was still not
right.
cool.
No,
We're
no.
No,
not.
I
He
know.
had not
I
pieced
knew
up
no,
with
that.
him.
no, yeah,
So if somebody I'm not cool with shows up at my house and
but
also has a piece on me, of course, my family gonna be like,
okay, I can understand Meech
"What you
feeling that
on?"
way, but I do agree with Ron. Is he seemed to be a little more receptive of than more than he could have or should have been, because the first impression I got was, he was so upset with B-Mickie for getting back in the game, and that's why he didn't want him in the house.
That one.
But your boys are in the game. You realize they're in the game, and you can't. That's very hypocritical. Would be very hypocritical of Charles to be so, you know, placid with B-Mickie, but yet living and thriving with your boys who aren't doing the same thing. And when B-Mickie said, "T, let me back in," he, as you said, stood on 10. I mean, he was like, okay, he didn't even bother that didn't even flinch with Charles. He was like, no, you got to get up out of here. The look he had made me believe that he believed that B-Mickie was up to no good, coming to the house with a piece on him.
Yes.
But my point is, how would he have known to be that receptive? Because he did not have that conversation with Meech about don't let
until
B-Mickie
after the
in.
fact.
Right, until after the fact. He didn't have that conversation in
They've been beefing from years.
but beef,
No.
but wait,
They have not.
but what I'm saying is Terry let him back in. So
And Terry didn't tell nobody else that he let him back in.
but
So the
Meech didn't
father did not know that.
and the
Meech did
father
not
did,
know
but the
that.
father didn't know, but the father did not know that B-Mickie was on a mission to kill Meech and Terry. He didn't
Yeah,
know.
he didn't. But when he came to Meech's house, who he's not cool with a piece, his father was like pretty much like, "What you on?
Well, if he's back in the game, he's going to have a piece on him. This is my
You're
point.
coming to Meech's house, who you haven't been cool with in years. That's what. Trust me. If I'm not cool with somebody, and my father, my people know that I'm not cool with them, and they show up at my house, and they also have a weapon on them,
I see what you said, and I'm thinking they probably did a better job, like over time, of Charles just knowing that they don't rock together. But I'm just saying the way it played out was more like there was a recency thing to it. Like if Charles knows what's going on right now, like he should be worried about it. But I hear what you're saying, and historically, Charles would know that Meech and Terry had issues with him because of what he did in the past.
When they fell out, Meech addressed him. Remember when season 2, when we found out that Mickey was was snitching and stuff, Meech confronted him at the cookout at their farewell when Meech was getting ready to go to Atlanta. He was like, "Don't you ever come around here no more." And the parents was looking too. They felt bad because B-Mickie had been friends with Meech since the 2nd grade. So the parents knew they weren't cool. So now if I know that you're not cool with my son, and my son ain't home, and you pull up and you got a gun, and
Let's
go there. You know that your son isn't cool with this dude. You mean to tell me that you're going to go out your way to make sure that he has the money to do what he needed to do with his?
Because they were cool. Because it looked like he was turning over a new leaf, though.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding. That's my
point. Like because initially he had a job at the plant.
Wait a second. Just what you said. It looked like he was turning a new leaf, and therefore Charles believed that B-Mickie was turning over a new leaf. So point being is, you sniffed out B-Mickie in seconds. I mean, from almost the time Charles laid eyes on B-Mickie, he smelled a rat.
Mm-hmm.
There was no conversation about it. There was like, okay, so what are you doing here? With a piece? No, I think
he did bring up the piece.
No, I know he did. But the question he asked him was, "You back in the game?"
Yep, he did. You could tell by his dress.
And Meech said, "Yeah, because I need the money. I need the da 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 da." Initially, I thought that's what bothered Charles the most.
I think he did. I think you're right about that too. I think that bothered him. I think that bothered him because he said he was changing. He had dinner with them. He was his best man. He was working at the plant. He took money from the church. He thought he was on. He thought he had changed. So I think he was really disappointed in him that he got back in the game. So number one, that. But then when he showed up with the gun, like, again, what you want? Because the way he was walking to the house, and then he was surprised when Pops came out. When Charles came out, you can tell he was caught off guard
Well,
that
he
he was
would be.
there because
'Cause
he knew he had to change his demeanor.
well, he didn't expect Charles to be there in the first place. So yeah, it would catch him.
Yeah,
I
because
would
he was on some
if he had
stuff.
nothing, if he had no plans, but I still think it would have caught him off guard. But I think, I guess we don't want to spend too much time on this,
Yeah.
but it just, to me, like Ron said, it was a little sketchy in how he was able to snip that out so suddenly, so quickly, rather.
I was just surprised. I mean, it could happen. It is what it is.
I just
but
think.
I did want to say real quick 2 things before we move on to what you were about to get into. Back to that little when Meech found out that B-Mickie was around, when which I thought was very interesting, when Terry said, "You are a terrible judge of character." And I said, "Is this not the pot calling the kettle?" I mean, because you are rocking with Markeisha.
Markeisha.
She's a snake. You bring B-Mickie back into the fold now, and B-Mickie is even worse than anybody else he could associate himself with, because he knows Meech don't like him. And if Meech is the one who's a terrible judge of character and he gets screwed over in the long run by so many people, but he refuses to bring B-Mickie back into the fold, that's got to tell you something. That's got to tell you a little bit like, okay, maybe I do need to stay away from this guy, because my brother forgives everybody and he don't want to mess with this dude.
Right. But you know what he said when he did bring him back in the fold, when he sent him on that mission to kill Jay Pusher, he was like, if he ends up getting killed, he's expendable. So he was just like, whatever, whatever happens to B-Mickie, yeah, whatever.
Right,
but still, he did feel sorry for him enough to give him money for, especially T being a father, to help him with the child's surgery and stuff.
Right.
But B-Mickie.
What the one more thing that I was going to say before I forgot? What's the gentleman's name that the snitch that they
Laz.
Laz. If you've been doing this for so many years, right? You run in Detroit, you expanding in Atlanta. Now you're trying to get to Cali. You've been through so much. You've been all this stuff. You had your organization go down to the bottom and you brought it right back up. You mean to tell me one of your stash houses is going to be with this dude Laz with his grandmother? Like, you going to have a stash house with the dude's grandmother? Like, that's the grandmother's house is a stash house? What are we doing? Like, that's just crazy to me. I was like, and that's how you get roped up. If you had something outside of the mix, nobody's house, it's a stash house where stuff happens. You go there, you do your thing, you leave there, go back to wherever you are. It don't be your grandmother's house where if you get caught up, now he's gonna fold.
You get innocent people roped up into your foolishness.
Exactly. And that's where snitching and loyalty to family, to me, that's like a pair of scissors. You take snitching and cut it in half. You talking about me going to jail? You talking about my grandma getting locked up and having to die in jail, because she probably would. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be a singing bird, bro.
But I think, though, for real, I agree about not letting Granny get roped up, but I also agree that the money and stuff that they had enough money to get the type of lawyer that Granny would have got off.
We hope,
because I do think that they were bluffing him, and because Laz is he was kind of young too. He was kind of scary, because you see, none of that stuff ain't work on Duffy. Right. Duffy stood on business, but Laz is like he really young.
Yeah, he's young, but they do say in the court of law that ignorance is no defense. And grandma to be ignorant of what her grandson was doing in that house, I don't know how much of a defense that would be, because
and they also say innocent until proven guilty. So they would have to prove, and I talked about this before, they would have to prove that Granny knew that this was in the house.
The proof is that it was your house, and you should have known what was going on in your house. Look,
we had a conversation offline about this, and I told you what another attorney told me.
We black folk.
I told you what
you know
another
how
attorney
many,
told
do
me.
you know
You
how many
gotta make
folks
them prove it.
do you, Tim, you know as well as I do, there's so many black folks in jail
Absolutely.
and
But the type of money
circumstantial
that
evidence.
Meech and them have, they don't
Circum,
have ordinary lawyers.
well, I don't know how many people in jail that had good lawyers and still are in jail from circumstantial evidence. If you're black, you don't get the same kind of
I
uh
do know that. I
okay,
do know that.
so end the story. So you know, it really was less
We would
about
have rolled the dice. I'd have been like, Granny did not know.
oh, roll the
We going to
dice.
court. I'd be like, y'all harassing Granny.
Roll the dice.
I mean, I do think that I think you're right. We've seen Meech and them in previous seasons get somebody off that was caught up in the mix and get them out of there with Lamont's ex, you know, with her coming in as the lawyer and all that stuff, or legal person. So I mean, I definitely think they would have had Laz's back and the granny's back. I just don't think if you trying to move, that's not a situation
Don't roll
to get.
innocent
You
people
got all
into
these
that
other
stuff.
stash houses. That's one stash house that just get rid of it. Get a different stash house.
Exactly.
How about just go underground? Dig a big hole. You know, like those areas, you know, when you live in those tornado areas and you go down and you dig
the bunkers.
The bunkers, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got enough money, dig a bunker and put your money in there.
Yeah.
But leave your grandma and your grandpas out.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. Stop roping innocent people up in your foolishness.
That's a fact.
So
yeah,
this is, you know,
I just had to say that because that's been bothering me for a couple.
No,
Like,
I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it because
do?
it makes a whole lot of sense. But I want to, you know, stay on the B-Mickie thing and, you know, talk about him and then go on to other characters. I want to talk about them by character. So B-Mickie, I feel like karma is coming from him big time because, you know, Bryant basically after Laz got killed, you know, he was being super police like Ron likes, and he asked for surveillance, and as soon as he saw the surveillance, he recognized that it was B-Mickie and stuff, and so he, you know, they put out an APB, they doing surveillance, and sure enough, they find, you know, B-Mickie's information, see what hotel he's staying in. They go up in there and check out all his stuff and everything. And B-Mickie comes and he sees the car. He sees Brian's milk dud head from the from the door and knows that they're in there checking out his spot and everything. So he runs. But that's what I said. Trouble is coming for karma's gonna come for B-Mickie because of this vengeance. Because he got Bryant on his case. And when Meech and them find out, that's going to be drama. And then now he done double-crossed Lamar. He done double-crossed Lamar. And Lamar thought that he was an ally. He ambushed Lamar. And what did Lamar do? Lamar rolled up and snatched the baby. And snatched his wife, too. Had her in zip ties. And was like, you know, and she tried, first she stood 10 toes down. She wasn't trying to tell him where B-Mickie was. She stood on business. But he picked up the phone, you know, back in the day. Y'all know, y'all remember we used to do STARZ 69. You see what the last call was.
Right.
So I think he did that. I think he took the phone, did STARZ 69, realized where he got the address to where he was, and said, you know, we gonna take a little road trip. Took her and the baby. So I'm like, yeah, B-Mick,
well, he's gone. I mean, look, let's go dig his grave now because he's gone. It's and rightfully so. I don't have a problem with that. I really don't.
If he doesn't die, he's going to the bank for sure.
On the flip side, if Terry, we know it was Terry, but you know his family did a solid for you.
Yeah.
And you won't pay him back by trying to take out Meech and no.
Yeah.
No, so since you got that kind of goal, you made your own bed, bro. And
exactly. That's what I said. Karma's coming for him. One way or another, he's gonna either end up, you know, unalive, or he's gonna end up in a bing, because you see what Bryant did when they raided his hotel room. They found the gun that was, you know, that killed J-Mo or whatever in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
And why he still got that gun? But B-Mickie tripping, like, that's not even smart. And it's the same gun that Kevin had and stuff that killed the other guy. So it has all these bodies on this gun. Bryant turned the gun in. So B-Mickie is going down one way or the other. He either going to the bang
Yep.
or he's getting up out of here. Lamar and them gonna take him out.
Or he'll
Eh,
be the one that turns evidence against Meech. But
True. I mean,
he's going to try to sell that order to him as well. And
I
I
can see that.
I believe Brian will catch him before Meech.
Yeah,
And
I
if
think
he,
so
Or
too.
Lamar, because Lamar got the most leverage. He got the baby and the wife.
Mm.
well, yeah, well, see, that's
That's why I could see B-Mickie kind of
yeah,
working with
Bryant, yeah,
Bryant because hey, he got my kid,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. He's between a rock and a hard place. I mean, the only place he can turn to is the police. Because if he meets up with Lamar, as crazy as Lamar is, and we know he don't die. So if he meets up with Lamar, Lamar's gonna punch his ticket. As simple as that.
But I got to tell you, the reason why he don't go nowhere is because they don't unalive him.
Well, that's my
That's
point.
another problem I have at this show.
Right.
I'm like, how are you going to take somebody out and not take him out? You
Yeah.
want to teach him a lesson, get him all drugged up and think he's going to go cuckoo and all this stuff. He don't. You see him still walking around and you just letting him walk around and terrorize you. Then B-Mickie comes out of nowhere as a hitter and it gets the dude in the neck. You don't even finish him. You a hitter. Like
Yeah. You're supposed to be a finisher.
Amen. Ain't but one way to make sure a person is dead.
Yeah. I don't know. I got questions.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. So yeah. So we already said that about B-Mickie. He's on his collision course right now. But let's talk about Meech and T making their way to LA. So they went to LA to meet Loco's plug, Manuel. And it looks like Manuel is impressed with Meech and crew. And they're talking about doing business and Meech and I forgot what's the plug's name, the brother his nickname. It start with an M. I forgot dude's name.
Oh,
That too.
We just gonna say the LA plug then.
Yeah.
So the LA plug was showing them around. They went to the beach. They admired, the LA women and all of that. And they go to one of the clubs and he gets into a fight and Meech jumps in. Meech always jumps in.
That's what I'm saying.
In these fights. I know Ron said that. He always, that's one thing, you in a fight, he in it too. So he busting bottles over and stuff. So he stood on business and he represented and was fighting with them. And as they were Crips. T did not get involved at all. It was like T did not get involved at all. And so he and Meech beefing in the car about that. Cause he's like, man, you know, things that happen my back. You ain't even get involved. And T was like, you always getting involved in other people's business. Like, so that was a trip. And it seemed like it was interesting seeing how the LA plug was trying to teach Meech and T about LA politics, the street politics with the gangs, and tell them like you gotta watch colors and the Crips and the Bloods and the gang affiliations and stuff like that. So you can see that Meech and Terry went to go talk politics with the Bloods. And so that was interesting. And they, of course they were giving them like, this ain't your territory, this, that, and the other. They weren't so warm and fuzzy, but as Meech said, he was like, I know y'all got y'all colors, but the only color that really matters right now is green. And even though you can kind of see them softening a little bit, even though they were like still.
My question is, you roll up in their territory, was it
Right?
And after being in a brawl with them,
Well, he was in brawl with the rival gang with the Crips. He wasn't in a brawl with them with the Bloods.
okay, but my point being is, um, for you to be involving yourself in that and then go up, because the first thing what the guy said when he first saw him, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Instead of just shooting him at first sight. Because I mean, you talking about rolling the dice.
You are rolling the dice.
You are rolling the dice big time.
You
crap. I mean, and so it's just amazing how, and this is why I say yeah, maybe Meech is some kind of god. He ain't my god, but he must be.
No, he ain't. But they had ties. But the thing is, he's so silver tongued. That's the thing. The advantage that Meech kind of has over T. Like T is like really
Intellect.
cerebral and everything and stuff, but he's not as
He has a gift
like
of
Meech is
gab.
more
Meech has a gift.
charismatic and gregarious and stuff
He has
and, and, and
a gift of
charming.
gab. He has a gift of gab. He
He
knows
does, he
when
does. And I think
when
that's
to
what
talk.
happens.
Yeah, but some gangs wouldn't even give you a chance to do that gift of gab. They'd have blown
No,
the first time.
no, but
But like you
they
say,
wanted to get paid. When he started talking about when he talked about how he had the pure white girls and this, that, and the other and stuff, you can see that countenance melting. And they were like, I think they were counting the dollar signs in their head. And they was like, okay, we gonna see what he talking about. Because you know,
I mean, I I get it. I mean, he do have the gift of gab, and he can sell what they got going on. But I can't see nobody agreeing to, really sit down with you on initial visit without really knowing who you are. I can see him saying,
exactly.
"Okay, well, we'll get back to you. We're gonna check you out and see what you're talking about, and
exactly,
then maybe I could." But they just like all falling in line. Like, who is you? How do I know
exactly,
you move like that? Like,
right.
what? Because you say it.
Or is it because of the LA plug?
Maybe
Because
because of
I,
the
I think
plug.
because he vouched for Meech and them.
Maybe,
I think that's
maybe,
the only reason why
maybe.
Meech was even able to have that meeting.
Right, maybe.
Because otherwise you can't go walk up nowhere and talk about you having business. You been got robbed and everything else going in somebody
But
else's
even
neighborhood.
if I could see, so the plug is a Crip, right? Who had a problem with Bloods in the.
I
Yeah,
what
he's a
what
Crip because
was
he was
he
wearing
was he
blue.
a crip?
Yeah,
Because
Yeah,
he
he
was
he
wearing blue in the
he was
car.
wearing blue in the car. Correct.
So he's a
okay.
Crip. So he had an issue with the Bloods. So I could see him saying to his people, like, I vouch for him. I've seen him move. I know what he's doing, and them listening. I can't see
Mhm.
the Bloods listening to him
Right,
saying, you know what I
right,
mean? But it is what it is.
right, right.
And that's where I go back to the brawl. He was helping out the
The
Crips.
Bloods.
Was he helping out the Bloods or the Crips?
No, he was helping out the Crips because the plug had the
Right,
issue with the Bloods, and when
right.
he saw the Crip, I mean the plug get into it, make that first blow. That's it. That's all he had to see. He was jumping in.
Yeah. And then he goes to the Bloods to try to make a fantasy
Yeah,
deal.
that's a little wild. That
Wild Wild
initial.
West.
Yeah,
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 yeah. Mm. Okay, well, next up.
Yeah, yeah. So we saw that happened with them. It looks like they're making a segue into the LA market because as we know in real life they were in LA for a while. I think Meech stayed in Atlanta and T ended up being in LA running the LA markets and stuff. But while in the midst of trying to get all this stuff set up, Meech is meeting with Manuel to go over the logistics of everything. And Manuel tells them that they need to shut down the Atlanta markets because there's too much stuff going on.
Mhm.
And then in the midst of it, and he said, because Meech and them don't even know that right before that Loco, they had just talked to Loco. Meech had just talked to Loco and said that they was gonna meet them in Miami or whatever. And Loco gets off the phone, gets in the car, and the car explodes. And I'm like, oh man, Loco, I like Loco. R.I.P. to Loco. Great job, Roberto Sanchez, who plays Loco. If you guys don't know, we interviewed him a while ago. And oh shoot. Okay. Yeah, we interviewed him a while ago. And you guys can check out that interview at
Yeah.
another time.
Ron H. had
So
Ron H. had a good question that kind of brings back what we saw here with Logo in that interview. So you definitely want to watch it and draw your own conclusions on your ties. But
okay.
we do have to RIP old Loco. But
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so there was that. And Meech is feeling down in the dumps about that and everything. So we'll wrap up that story and talk about Nicole last because we see this episode Nicole. went into labor. And you know, it's funny when she went into labor, who was she calling for? Mama. Mama. As strained as their relationship was, when it came down to it, when the doctors say, like, who do you want in the room? And Breeze was right there. Mama. So
Well,
that was so the baby's heart rate was dropping. It was looking really scary for a minute. They had to have a C-section. And then it made me real nervous for a minute too, because when the baby came out, the baby didn't immediately cry. Nicole is getting nervous and she's like, Mama, why isn't he crying? Why isn't he crying? And you know, you could see Lucille was trying not to worry her, and she's just like, you know, that it's okay. They're working on her and they're working on her, and she's worried too, but she's trying not to worry Nicole. And then they work on the baby, and all of a sudden you hear the baby cry, and we're all relieved. I know all of us did a collective sigh, like, whew. So they had a baby boy, named him Demetrius, and Meech couldn't wait to throw that in T's face. You know, when they had that fight at the end and stuff, Meech went there and threw said that the baby. That's why Nicole named the baby after me. But the baby's cute. The baby's cute.
yeah.
And hopefully we see Breeze is there. Hopefully that is Breeze baby. Let's hope. Look,
Let me say this though.
Ronnie says no. He said no, that's not his baby. You don't think so?
Not the way BMF moves. Nope.
Yeah, well, you know, he could be right. He could be right. But I want to talk about Lucille for a second.
Okay.
I think first of all, let me say that I think she made a good move, wanting her mother in there. You know, that was a good move. But the way Lucille talked to my boy Charles, I mean, when she called Charles and
She told him to get his ass.
Yeah, I mean,
she said, "Get your ass home."
I mean, my brother is just hearing about all this, and you just snapped and said, "Get your, you know, your ass in here. Get up in, you know, over here quickly, as quick as you can." Yada yada. Yada. Like Lucille, why don't you calm down on this brother?
And I think it was a heat. She knew Nikki was in labor to water, but I just think in that moment, I don't like the way she's been talking to Charles either. But I think in that moment she just was kind of panicking because she's just like, just hurry up and get home.
But
So
we'll get over to the hospital. I can understand that, but he had to get on the plane. I mean, it wasn't.
yeah. She was talking. Yeah, she been talking to crazy. She
Yeah.
been talking crazy to Charles and stuff, and he went home. But you know who got there?
But it may solidify one more thing. It may solidify the relationship with Lucille and you know and
But they were kind of acting not, I wouldn't say lovey-dovey, but tender to each other because they were grandparents. When they were looking at the baby and admiring the family and stuff at the end, you know, she and Charles, they looked happy. They were like, he put his arm around her, like they looked like proud grandparents and stuff. Until they walked in that room and Nikki told them that G and Breeze moving out and getting their own
No,
place.
I was trying to say that I think that this scenario will bring Lucille and Nikki closer because
Yeah.
you know that was a tender moment. Lucille kissed her on the forehead, yada yada yada. She did it. She wanted her mom, you know, over her boyfriend. So I'm thinking that this is going to bring them closer together, and that might be a good thing. So what we have here now is a rebuild, I think, of that relationship, and I think that's going to be good for Nikki more than
Uh-huh.
anything. So we got some good out of it, I could say.
Yeah, I think so.
I could
Yeah.
see it. I could see it happening where they start to come together a little bit more. I do think her deciding to move out probably strained a little of that love that they had because she's you know how Lucille is very territorial actually
Oh yeah.
when it comes to stuff. And I think the only thing about Lucille which is interesting is that if a certain part of her life is going well and she can't focus on the negative, she falls back in line to the person that they're used to, the mother that they're used to, the nurturer that they're used to, and she is who she is.
Mhm.
But the other shoe's going to drop eventually for what she's got going on because she got too much going on.
Mhm.
And that is when she's going to get back into that person that Nicole is like, I don't know who this is, and I don't want to be around this person. So it's going to be there.
Right. Because she's like, I don't want this around my baby, and I don't want to be that type of mother to my baby because, you know, as we saw in some of the previous episodes, she was saying, please don't let me have a girl because she didn't want to have the same type of relationship with her mom. But the last thing we're going to close out with is the situation with Marquisha. Talk about somebody getting come up because she, you know, what led up to that is she went and had dinner or whatever with old girl. Little did she know, old girl was feeding Boom, you know, and she told the girl that she was doing business with T. And the girl went back and told Boom. And Boom is crazy. We already knew Boom was abusive because he, you know, he beat her up before. He's abused her before. And she's driving in the car, minding her business. And what does he do? He just comes and rams his car to the side of her, puts her in a hospital, and just like, you know, you tried to play me and said, oh girl told me that you were taking my business over to him and stuff. So I'm like, we knew, we talked about this, Ron, in previous episodes. It was like, this girl's playing a dangerous game because she trying to play Boom. He already had been abusive to her. And then you trying to play T, and then you're talking to the cop too. And I was like, we knew this was going to come back on her.
And she still got away without her comeuppance. I mean, you know, I thought Boone might take her out.
Dude, it ain't over.
It's not, but you saw that look in his face, and he said he still loves her and all this other stuff. And he did.
That's what abusers say, even after they
but
beat your butt and all of that.
But you know, I thought he would like take his. You know, I thought he might have had a piece on him, take it out. You know,
he's still the mother of his children, though.
Yeah, and that's why I think she's still safe. Except I saw the excerpts of the next.
That she's in a hospital.
Yeah, who's she calling?
See, it said, Boom tried to kill me. You know, why you think he tried to kill you? Because you playing him. You try to play him. So anyway, that's comeuppance. Marquisha and B-Mickie got comeuppance. That means it's B-Mickie's is coming. Yeah. B-Mickie's is coming. It's on the horizon, and Marquisha's is not finished.
No, they have a problem in BMF of not knowing how to finish people off.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that I just got out of jail, and I have decided that you are playing me, and you didn't know you were playing me, but I found out, and I'm gonna ram you with my car and leave you alive so that I don't know what you're gonna do. You might be scared of me, but you might not. You might rat me out and send me right back. I'm gonna leave you alive instead of finish. What is wrong on this show? They don't finish nobody off.
Like, and how did he know? And how did he know where she would be the exact moment to ram her in the first place?
I don't know. Maybe he was following her.
I mean, no, but maybe she had just probably he just knows the route because she had just left what's her face's place. And
that girl may have set him up. That girl may have set Mark. That girl may have said if she ran back and told him that everything she said, she probably set Marquisha up.
Well, the one thing she's another one that can get that. She's getting the hands. What's her name? Kiki or whatever her name is?
Yeah, because that was foul.
That's real.
And I ain't even no fan of Marquisha, but that's some.
Hey, you know I'm no fan of.
That's some.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Kiki's supposed to be my friend, but you know that was such a foul move. Kiki.
That was foul. That was big.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, Tiff. I think. Because he said she's been feeding him. She knew that for a while. So they probably did set it up. He was already waiting for her to get out of there.
So that might
they set her up.
Yeah, I'll go with that. But Kiki, you get the hands this week.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad you went into the hands because that was my next thing. I was about to ask who we wanted to put on the hands list, but it seems like it's obvious. Kiki. I'm giving B-Mickie the hands too.
Yeah.
I'm giving B-Mickie the hands because
you can get him.
Yeah, and that's who else? Should we give Boom the hands?
Well, Boom got the hands from T, but And I'm not gonna give Boone the hands.
I say
Take it
Ron
back.
is
I
all
take it
for
back.
it.
I take it back. Yeah, I'm gonna give Boone the
Ron
hands.
is terrible.
Yeah, I take it back. I'm gonna give him the hands because he
Ron
didn't
is
finish the
terrible.
job. He didn't
I
finish
would
the
say he
job.
gets the hands for not doing the thing to completion. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
finish
Yeah,
the
he gets
job.
the
What are
hands.
we doing here?
Yeah,
What is,
see, that's
what's
what.
wrong with you?
Terrible.
No, that's what Ron Square gets you. So you
Yeah.
should. So,
Yeah, both of y'all, Ron Square, both of y'all terrible. Y'all
Don't be.
so
Hey,
boom.
if you gonna be a bad man, be a bad man. Don't be a half bad man. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I heard
gonna show
that.
you. What are we doing
I
here?
heard that. So yeah, so boom, Kiki, B-Mickie, they all getting hands. Game ball.
but wait a minute. Before we do that, I'm not even sure if the now I don't know, and this is just pure speculation on my part. But I believe the guy that they were meeting with in LA killed Logo. He said,
Yeah,
he,
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought about that
I think
too.
so too.
yeah, he said it was a rival
He said it was a cartel, but I think it was him
but
too.
I think it was him. I think he got Logo out the way because he got Meech and Terry. So it's pure speculation.
No, Ron. I thought about that. You know, the first thing I thought about that whole scene reminded me of like Scarface.
Yeah, yeah,
It
And
re-
that's
it
what they
remind
wanted to do. Yeah.
it
exactly.
reminded me of Scarface, and I was just like, yeah, he had cartel problems, but I was like, I said, man, well, I don't trust you. He looks just like the guy from the Scarface to the one that Tony was dealing with. I was like, I don't trust you. He probably did it to
So.
Loco.
Mhm.
He probably did it to Loco too. I agree with you, Ron.
So I'm giving him the hands purely on
Yeah, yep. Just because we speculating that you
right.
did it.
Because we
You guilty till proven innocent as far
right.
as I'm concerned.
And another one that may be questionable. It's not as obvious as the others, but I'm giving T the hands for having the nerve to say you're a bad judge of character. Just
Oh,
the
He is.
gall.
He
no,
is.
I can
They
see
both.
that because that Marquisha thing.
Oh,
The
except yeah,
gall.
yeah. I mean, the fact that you let Marquisha in and can't blow her out of your nose. Yeah, you
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
hand consistent.
He he the last one who should be saying anything about somebody having bad judgment.
I agree. I agree.
So game ball is
Well,
Charles for me.
Charles.
definitely. See, this is when I'm betwixt and between.
All right.
Because I would love to give Kiki the game ball,
Oh,
had Boone finished the job, then Kiki would have got the game ball. But see, now that Boone didn't finish the job and Kiki looks like a rat, I can't give you that. I gotta give you the hands, Kiki. You'd have got the game ball if Boone had just finished the job.
I'm like, wow, you can't, man. Ron can't stand Marquis. That lets you know how much he can't stand Marquis.
Crazy.
But anyway, I think we're all in agreement on Charles. I don't know anybody else right now who deserved the game ball.
No.
We had more people on the hands list than we did the game ball this week.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know.
Well, anyway, this has been a good discussion. Thank you, Ron H, for joining us. And we'll be back for the season finale. And in the meantime, please like and subscribe to our channel. Follow all of our social media channels. We're on everything: IG, Facebook, X, TikTok. Subscribe. Stay tuned for our Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival content. We have some interviews on the way, and we'll be back next week for the season finale.
Check out the couple that we do have. We have a couple interviews that Tiff did, and they're very interesting. So you want to check them out too. They're on the in our shorts. So please, well, one is I think, and the other one may be up in the actual playlist. So please check them out.
R.I.P. Loco.
Yeah, R.I.P. like Loco, and shout out to Roberto Sanchez again.
Definitely. So I'm glad we were able to catch him before he
Yes, that's why I said how timely that interview was.
Wow. All right. Well, look, Ron. Until next time, brother.
All right. It's always a pleasure, Ron.
Always a pleasure to be with you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
All right, thanks.
Well, good night, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm the freshest in the place. Running laps with my vibe and you can't keep the pace. Head to toe while I'm dripping in style. I'm fly with $1 million smile. Cannot be me, never could you see me. When you this fresh, everybody wanna greet me. Check the clock, now I check my wrist. Ice so bright, the whole room stay lit. I know you wanna match my style. You haven't seen someone like me in a while. It looks easy, I make it look easy. Born to be fly, I know you really believe me. I leave the room, energy remains. I'm the flyest, stacked up with all these chains. New swag, my swag, here I go. I'm so fresh all around the globe. There ain't no other that can take my role. I'm so hot, but the style so cold. In every room, you know that I reign. Eyes on me, can't deny the fame. Now watch the kicks, don't step on my shoes. Outfit changing for